Good afternoon. Welcome to the weekly wellness update. I am your host, Gabe Osterhout. Coming up this semester, we're going to be talking about a lot of different health related topics that affect students here on campus at Binghamton University, but also the surrounding community. And one of the first things that we're going to be talking about is the fact that Binghamton University, as of August 1st of this year, has gone tobacco free. I have a guest on with me today, Ada Robinson Perez. She is the Associate Director of the Employee Assistance Program. Ada, thank you for joining us. This policy has kind of been a long time coming. This isn't something that Binghamton University decided to do overnight. Just talk a little bit about kind of some of that dialogue that went back and forth.
Sure, Gabe, and thank you for having me on. Yes, this initiative was not certainly an event. It was definitely a process that took place for the last almost 24 months. We've been at the table planning intensively in terms of how to best roll out this policy so that individuals feel not only supported, but are aware of resources available, how to get help. Before August 1st even rolled around, we were planning intensively again to make sure that services were available for our employees, our faculty and staff, and students as well.
Now, walking around campus, I've heard a lot of people say that it's a smoke-free campus, but this is actually more than that. This is a tobacco-free campus that covers electronic cigarettes, that covers hookahs, that covers chewing tobacco. Talk a little bit about kind of, some of the other things. It's not just cigarettes.
Right. I think you really covered it all. It's any tobacco product, and that included tobacco chew, the e-cigs, the hookahs, any electronic devices, obviously cigarettes. And the whole idea was to really ensure that we were sending a clear message that we as a community wanted a healthier environment for everyone, and that some of those products that have been promoted to help curtail addiction. The FDA hasn't really ruled in or out whether or not that's the best way to go nicotine-free, is particularly I'm referring to the e-cigarettes. So we decided as a committee that it would be best to be completely tobacco-free, including e-cigs as well.
And this policy affects more than just the people who are on campus. Obviously, we have a lot of visitors here on campus, whether it's, sporting events at the Bearcat Sports Complex, if it's shows at the Anderson Center. This is something that's important for not just our students to know, but
Right.
People coming on campus.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is, again, a community-wide initiative, and that the policy certainly doesn't exclude anyone, and that includes our guests, our visitors, our parents, the Anderson Center. And we kind of approach this no different than you would approach, entering into a hospital or entering into another public facility where tobacco products aren't allowed. It's just kind of across the board for everyone.
And we know that change is not something that's going to happen overnight, no matter what we're trying to change, whether it's our diet, our sleep patterns,
Absolutely.
whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
And we know that this is no different, that this is going to take some time.
Absolutely.
But Binghamton University has implemented some things, not only for students, but for employees and staff. And one of the things they've instituted is tobacco cessation classes. And from the
Absolutely.
employee perspective, if you can talk a little bit about them.
Sure. We were fortunately introduced to the Fresh Start program through UHS, who was initially one of our partners that helped us prepare for the policy in terms of prepping for classes. And the Fresh Start program is a cessation program, and it's sponsored by the American Cancer Society. And this is a really a nice canned program that is simplistic and straightforward, but certainly drives home the fact that cessation classes or education around addiction is the best way to go tobacco-free, in addition to any other efforts that might couple with that. For example, nicotine replacement therapy. So the U.S. Surgeon General actually says smoking cessation represents the single most important step that smokers can take to enhance the length and quality of their lives. So we use this curriculum, and this curriculum has also been introduced to students and student trainers as well, that it's a peer-based program that anyone who has a heart and a passion to support and aid, and it's not necessarily a counseling program, it's a psychoeducation program, help folks change not only their attitudes, but their behaviors, and henceforth, hopefully, their lifestyle.
And there's actually different sessions, whether you're staff and faculty and students. So from the staff and faculty perspective.
Sure. So from a staff and faculty perspective, it is the same curriculum that will be used both with students, and it's currently being used with faculty and staff. And to date, we've had approximately 6 classes across campus, ranging in numbers in terms of attendance. And the classes are 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. And we provide the material, we provide the information, and we make it really fun and engaging by giving individuals an opportunity to just sit with their thoughts, talk about their history of addiction. And we know that it's not, addiction is not something that is acquired overnight, nor is it something that can end overnight. So we kind of walk them through this process of understanding their own motivation to delay or reduce or eventually quit tobacco use or nicotine products altogether. So the classes, again, we keep it fun, we keep it light, we keep it hopefully motivating and encouraging and inspiring, so individuals really walk away feeling supported and hopefully, most importantly, proud of their decision to begin the quit process.
I know for students, the classes are going to be coming up, and for students who are interested in these tobacco cessation and support groups, they're going to actually be starting next Thursday, which is October 5th. Then they'll go the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, and the 25th. So much like the employees, the students is a 4-week, about an hour a week.
Yes.
They're from 3:30 to 4:30. For students, it's in Old O'Connor 346. For staff and employees?
Sure. Yeah, same program again. Our next scheduled training will be November 28th. December 5th, December 12th, and December 20th. We're looking around the holidays to help those individuals who want to get geared up before the New Year's, those New Year's resolutions. We're hoping that folks come out and decide to participate. It's from 12 to 1 p.m., and the classes will be held at the Decker Health Services Conference Room. That's the Decker Student Health Services Conference Room. And faculty and staff interested, or graduate students as well that are employed, if they're interested in enrolling, they can email us at eap@binghamton.edu. And that, again, is from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. It's during a lunch hour, so we're hoping folks come out and get started on those New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals before the holidays come around.
So again, eap@binghamton.edu if you're if you're faculty or staff.
Sure.
Students, we want to email healthycampus@binghamton.edu if you're interested and you want to sign up for those classes. For students, you can also call 777-2254 to register for those classes. And we like people to register just so we have an idea of who we're going to have coming, and so we can accommodate the space.
Absolutely. Registration is really important so that we ensure that we're prepared to meet the need of each participant. We do fun things, for example, like we actually prepare for quit jars. We buy these mason jars, and we have individuals who are ready to cut back on their smoking begin to stash their money away in this mason jar so they can begin to watch their wealth accumulate as they begin to cut back on their cigarette use or any other tobacco product use. And it's another fun way. So those kind of supplies are needed. We also will have door prizes as well for individuals who complete the course. So receive a certificate of completion in addition to some door prizes as well. So we want to make it engaging.
And we want to let everybody know that these classes are set up for these times, but someone may say, I can't make it during that time. I know for the students, we've also set up a drop-in time. And for students, that drop-in time is Wednesdays between 3:30 and 4:30 p.m., Old O'Connor again, room 357, and that's for students to come in, ask questions about what they can expect, talk to somebody. If they can't make it to the classes, we want to do everything that we can here at the university to help as many people, who decide that maybe it's time to stop smoking or their tobacco use. We want to provide those resources for them. So also, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier, and a lot of people may not know what it is, nicotine replacement therapy.
Yes, absolutely. The university's invested a lot of resources into ensuring, again, that nicotine replacement therapy and classes and supports are available. And we have two wonderful resources on campus available for students, faculty, and staff. And the first program is actually out of the Decker School of Nursing. This is a healthy practices clinic, and they're open Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And they're an excellent resource in that this clinic is actually managed by nurses as well as undergraduate nursing students. So there is actually on staff a nurse practitioner that will see students, faculty, or staff, and not only will they discuss with them their tobacco use history and talk to them about NRT and offer those products, but they'll also go over their health history. They'll also assess their blood pressure, their pulse, height and weight, and do an all-around assessment of their health, which is really great. And they can use the clinic as often as they'd like. They can be reached, again, at 777-5200 or iterp at binghamton.edu. And that's the Healthy Practices Clinic, and they're an excellent resource. The second resource that we have comes out of the Decker Student Health Services Center, and this is a nicotine replacement therapy program. The difference with this program, and all the nicotine replacement therapy is completely free to faculty, staff, and students. It is time limited, so it won't be an unlimited amount you can have, but the NRT will be available, again, at no cost. And the NRT includes gum, lozenges, or patches. At this time, they're not dispensing prescriptions for medications, but certainly those three top products are available to faculty, staff, and students. And the Decker Student Health Services Center is available from 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. The only difference with the NRT program, they do require that students have had some contact with a health or medical professional. So whether that's a counselor or their primary physician, before the NRT is dispersed, it's really important that students check in with their doctor or a counselor to understand the implications of using NRT. So that's the NRT programs through the Healthy Practice Clinic, as well as the NRT program through Decker Health Services Center as well.
And you're listening to the weekly wellness update here on WHRW, and our guest is Ada Robinson Perez, talking a little bit about Tobacco-Free Campus. And I know last semester, we were kind of out unrolling some of the different things that were going on, and one of the things we had for the tobacco support program was the Pledge Card.
Yes.
If you could talk a little bit about the Pledge Card and what that entails.
Sure. And for those individuals that were able to stop by our table at the University Fest, we had these beautiful bright green large index size cards that basically says that I pledge to take steps to quit tobacco use and or help others trying to quit. And I will do my best to quit smoking and to quit using tobacco products. I will also do my best to support others as well. And the whole idea of this initiative is really to kind of promote this spirit of togetherness and support, and that no one faces a challenge, has to face a challenge alone, and the more support you can get, the better. So the support club actually is a pledge card, and once we get your name and you're committed to not only supporting the policy but supporting others as well, in addition to yourself if you're a smoker or a tobacco user, we'll include you in this email listserv and send out a newsletter and keep you posted and informed on things going on around on campus in regards to education, celebratory events, meetings, what have you. We also have another part of the support club. We have a peer support program, and right now we're piloting this program with faculty and staff, and we currently have approximately 6 volunteers who are ex-smokers, anywhere from 2 years to 25 years, who really just want to give back and help those individuals who may not be sure or may be struggling with the decision to quit their tobacco dependence or addiction. And this group of individuals just simply want to be another lending hand to the initiative and kind of give back, because we call that been there, done that, and they are just another excellent resource for our community here that's struggling perhaps with nicotine, and we hope to extend this to students as well at some point.
And how important is it that, people know that we're not the only ones going through this? If I decide that I would like to quit using tobacco products, to be able to talk to somebody who's been through the journey that I'm about to go on, because as we mentioned, this isn't an overnight process. This is really a journey, and one that doesn't end after a month or 2 months. So having people who understand what you're going through, how important is that?
Oh, that's extremely important. Certainly being able to normalize the emotional experience of the withdrawal effects, for example, so the physiological effects from the nicotine withdrawal, in addition to the emotional or the psychological effects of having to basically say goodbye to a behavior, a product that you used maybe perhaps throughout your college years or throughout even your older years. So the other part of the process is just to be there to kind of again extend that extra help and say, hey, I've been there. You can call me. We can talk about. We can go for coffee if you feel like you're having a craving to smoke. Even though you can't smoke on campus, I'd be happy to take a walk with you. I'd be happy to go out for a cup of coffee and be another way to help you adopt some healthy practices as you change and curtail your daily routine. So it's a whole lifestyle change.
And I think it's important to point out, we're not saying you can't smoke.
Absolutely.
What we're saying is tobacco products are not allowed on any property. And this is, I think, a really important distinction. It's not just campus proper. It's really any property of Binghamton University, which includes the downtown center, the ITC. So it's not just, well, if I'm going on main campus, I can't, but other places I can. It really involves all these places.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. The parking lots. And sadly, some people are even surprised that it includes smoking in your cars, too. If you're in your car and you're on the university property, we're hoping people are, reminded to extinguish their cigarette as soon as they get on campus and kind of shift their mindset. So, yeah.
And that's an important thing to point out as well. In another life that I was working as a TV reporter, one of the stories that we had done is, when New York State went tobacco-free in the workplace, indoors, a lot of people don't realize that, for cab drivers, that includes their cab. Right. For tractor-trailer drivers, that includes their truck. So a lot of people say, well, it's just me in here, but these policies are really across the board. And again, not meant as a punishment. It's more to help improve the health of everybody here at Binghamton University, not just students, but staff and employees. Absolutely,
exactly. Yeah, the policy, again, it's not a sanction or a punishment, and though some may view it that way. However, it really is a new day and age, and we're learning that the work that's done to hook people onto cigarettes. I mean, there's over 7,000 chemicals found in cigarette smoke. That's a market that's geared to hooking people. And with that said, we know that it's not an easy feat, but we also know that in the long run, it's for the better health of everyone, including if you're a pet lover. If you have animals, there's a thing now called third-hand smoke. So that's the smoke. That's the smoke byproducts found in your clothing, in your hair, in your nails, in your skin, in your curtains, in your carpet that puts off the same toxic fumes in your home environment that can affect your animals as well. So yeah, it's really a kind of a holistic approach we're looking at in terms of making our environment safe. and healthy for everyone.
I know we've kind of given a lot of information, so we're going to do a quick recap. One of the first places to go, if you don't know what this policy is here on campus, you can go to binghamton.edu/tobacco-free. That's the website, which outlines a lot of the policy that we just talked about. It gives you a lot of information, some frequently asked questions and answers, and different things that people may still be unsure of. Right. Not only that, but as we mentioned, we have support classes for students, and to apply for those, it's Healthy Campus at binghamton.edu or 777-2254 if you're interested. For employees, it's EAP at binghamton.edu. Those classes will be starting again at the end of November, as you mentioned, kind of right in time for the holiday season.
Sure, yeah.
And one of the things that I hear often is, I'm not a smoker. I just smoke when I go out and have a drink with my friends. But a lot of people know that, Thanksgiving is a time when everyone's coming back together. The holiday season, and whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever it may be, all the celebrations with family and friends coming together. And, a lot of times people may have quit for the entire year and jump back in during that time.
Yeah. Right, exactly. We call that kind of the social smoking, and some people still don't kind of identify themselves as smokers as a result. But again, we always talk about people, places, and things. So if you're one of those occasional smokers, some people can manage that well, and some people, eventually it becomes an overall addiction where that occasional smoke becomes a pack-a-day smoker. And so we don't want to minimize at all any type of tobacco use that certainly can be addictive and have the same harmful effects down the line in terms of impacting your health. So we know that's important to get that message out. There's another resource that we wanted to inform our listeners about, and that's the New York State Smokers Quit Line. So for those individuals who are not interested in any face-to-face contact or classes or support groups, or going to any of our sites on campus, there is a 1-866 New York Quits. And this is a telephone and web-based online community support program. You can also go to NewYorkSmokeFree.com. That's NYSMOKE-free.com. And the wonderful thing about this kind of a state-based quit line is that if you are interested in NRT products, they will also send you your choice of an NRT product as well for free at no cost. They'll also send you resources. They'll call you. They'll talk to you. So we know what social media platforms and the other apps are available. If you're interested in information, please contact. Again, the resources that we gave you, that we can certainly give you more information. We have these little green books, we call them, that we're trying to sprinkle across campus so people are aware of all the resources available.
And another place that you can go for some of this information, it'll be sprinkled throughout the semester, is on Facebook, the Binghamton University Health Promotion and Prevention Services page at Binghamton HPP. We'll be putting up some information on there, reminding people about classes that are coming up, just some tips. If, some people may hear this and say, I want to do this on my own.
Right.
So we'll be providing you some tips. And I'm not saying you can't do it on your own.
Absolutely.
We're just providing you support if you decide to take us up on it. And if not, and you want to do it on your own, that's fine too. The bottom line is we're just trying to improve the health of everybody, whether it's on campus or in the greater Binghamton community.
That's right. And again, there's local resources as well. You have UHS and Lord's program as well also contains cessation programs. And I might just add for 2 seconds, Gabe, we have another program available. And any supervisors that are out there that are struggling with perhaps, how do I have these conversations with my staff that might be struggling with smoking? Once in a while I might see them trying to sneak one, or I'm just concerned. We have a training for supervisors on the tobacco-free policy on October 17th. In the University Union 122 from 2 to 3:30, as well as October 18th, 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., the University Union 124. And again, this training is really geared at helping supervisors kind of craft their communication strategies and how to address non-adherence to the tobacco-free policy. We know that enforcement has been the most significant concern that folks have had. And again, if we can all kind of pitch in and make this a community effort and, again, not shame people, but remind them of what the policy is, how it's important, and where they can get help, I think we'll get the message across.
Excellent. Well, we are here with Ada Robinson Perez, the Associate Director of the Employee Assistance Program, also one of the people helping to make this a tobacco-free campus. We want to thank you for your time. And in the last few minutes that we have, we just want to outline, Health Promotion and Prevention Services is the group that I work for that helps put on this radio show. And we kind of want to outline, there's more going on health related, and we understand that with students, there's a lot of things going on campus, and it's tough to reach everybody. But I wanted to update you on a couple of events that are coming up. If you're interested, we encourage you to stop by. One of those is this Saturday from 12 to 5 in Old Union Hall. We have the Charles Drew Pre-Health Fair. Of course, we have our classes that we talked about that are coming up for students. Again, they start October 5th, every Thursday, the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th of October in Old O'Connor 346. If you don't want to go through a class, or if you don't have time because you're in class during that time, you can always come to our drop-in hours. That's in Old O'Connor 357. Those are Wednesdays, every Wednesday between 3:30 and 4:30. You don't have to sign up for those, but if you have some questions or anything, we encourage you to stop up and, figure out a little bit about what's going on, and, maybe some resources that are available that you may not have thought of. We're doing everything we can to help make a healthier campus here. And speaking of which, if you don't know, we are in the midst of Healthy Campus Week for another couple days. We got some great events going on, so I encourage you to check out some of those things that are going on. And of course, I'd like to promote the Facebook page again. If you're interested, Binghamton HPP, Binghamton Health Promotion and Prevention Services. You'll find a lot of different things on there. We work with student organizations such as 20 to 1, M-Hope, REACH, AOD, which is alcohol, other drugs, which is what the Tobacco Cessation Group falls under, interpersonal violence prevention. So a lot of great information. We encourage students to get involved because this is your campus, and we want you to have the best experience that you can here on campus.
That's right.
So again, if you're interested, Healthy Campus at binghamton.edu for students, EAP at binghamton.edu for faculty and staff, and we encourage you to ask questions. That's the biggest key, starting the dialogue, getting that communication going, and seeing how we can help.
Absolutely. We're better together.
Absolutely. Well, Ada, again, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Again, coming up, we have a lot of different events going on. I know coming up at the women's volleyball game at the West Gym on Friday night, veggie tailgating, which sounds kind of like an interesting event,
cool.
Not your typical tailgating, but more on free vegetables and recipes and sampling and, a chance to get your picture taken with some of your favorite Bearcats. So that's an important thing coming up. We also have a line dancing fitness class coming up on Friday, which is free of charge for students. It's called Country Heat. That's at 2:30 in the Rec Center, room 106. Tonight, we have our big power-up event in the Appalachian Dining Center. See what healthy eating can do for you. So we're talking about being smoke-free. We're talking about healthy eating. Really, our idea is we want the healthiest and safest campus community. We want you to enjoy your time here, but we also want you to take these messages and become healthy and safe adults.
That's right. That's the message, is to be well and be healthy.
And again, tobacco-free, that covers hookahs, that covers electronic cigarettes, that covers chewing tobacco, that covers cigarettes, cigars, BDs, all these other things that are going on.
Right.
And if you need more information, it's binghamton.edu/tobacco-free. Got that right? Excellent. So we encourage anybody, maybe you're not a smoker, but we have the pledge cards where you're asked to help out a friend. So there are a lot of opportunities, and as Ada said, we're all in this together. we need to work together.
That's right.
To move forward on this initiative. So we want to thank you very much for joining us for the first edition of the Weekly Wellness Update. In case you missed anything, you can go to our Binghamton Health Promotion and Prevention Services page or our YouTube channel where this show will be posted tomorrow. Listen, see what you need to do, and if you have any questions, feel free to give us a quick call. And with that, I am Gabe Osterhout, your host for the Weekly Wellness Update, and I must mention, if you have any topics that you would like to hear discussed on our show, feel free to leave a message on our Facebook page. I do check it daily, multiple times daily, actually. So if you have any topics that you would like to hear, feel free to drop me a message. We'll see what we can do.